Serving Amherst and Amherst Township, your hometown television station, Amherst City Cable.
Beck.
Here.
Mr. Goodell.
Here.
Mr. Miller. Mr. Van Truren. Mr. Winarski.
Here.
And the chair is present. We have a letter on file from Mr. Miller, Mr. Janik,
Here.
Mr. Bukovac.
You're calling me?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to make a motion to excuse me.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure what you said here for, so I got through it.
I'm sorry.
Oh, she didn't call me.
Oh.
I thought I called you. I'm sorry. Mr. Janik.
Here. Thank you.
She'll like you.
Okay. All right. Mr. Bukovac.
I'd like to make a motion to excuse Mr. Miller as a letter on file.
Mr. Goodell.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to excuse Mr. Miller. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion is carried 6-0. All right, we have one item on the agenda tonight, and it's A 15-28, resolution for estimated resources for the 2016 tax budget with the emergency clause. This was submitted by Auditor Kukuka. Mr. Kukuka.
Yes, good evening. This is our annual tax budget that we have to submit to the county. We put this together. It's a best guess as to what we think our tax resources are going to be for next year. And this is what allows the county to give us our allotment for the taxes to come back to the city. And this is what they use to base that refund back to the city. So usually what we do is we submit it to council. We have to have a public hearing, which we'll probably have next Monday, and then we pass it on. So.
Mr. Winarski.
I'd like to make a motion to take this to the floor of council.
Mr. Goodell.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to take A 15-28 to the floor of council with the emergency clause.
Amend that to add declaring an emergency.
And
That's sorry. That's exactly what I was going to say. If you could add an emergency on that.
okay, with the motion?
Yes,
Okay.
I'll amend my motion then.
I'll second.
Okay. There's a motion and a second to amend 2016 to send it to the floor, A 15-28 to send it to the floor of council with the emergency. Any comments?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries 6-0. That is all I have. Mr. Winarski.
Motion to adjourn.
Mr. Bukovac.
Second, please.
There's a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion to adjourn carries 6-0. And we are adjourned at 7:05.
Minutes for the Finance Committee. with the letter on file for Joe Miller. We have a resolution, A15-29, resolution to adopt the solid waste management plan, which is a Lorraine County management plan. We have Keith Bailey here this evening, District Director, who's going to summarize the plan for us that we received in this binder, or highlight what's different in terms of the new plan as opposed to the previous plan. Thank you. Mr. Bailey, will you take the podium?
Thank you for allowing me to speak this evening before council and the administration. What's new in this new plan? Different than the past. What's new is there's no increase in fees, all right? Fee level stayed the same as last time. We just moved into a new contract with Republic Waste and with all the terrestrial haulers that haul waste out of the county. And we have successfully for that contract in the next 3 years with 3 renewals. So the fees stay the same. New program. We're seeking to build 2 compost sites in Lorraine County, one for yard waste only, another for commercial organics. We are well on our way of the second site at this point in time. We are particularly pleased to announce we'll be seeking a lease with the prison system in Grafton, Ohio, where they're leasing us 25 acres to establish the Class 2 site, which will be managed by Barnes Nursery and prisoners. So that's going to be a unique venue. We're still seeking real estate in the northern part of the county to establish a Class 4 yard waste facility, which is duly needed up here, all right? We know that. Other new project in this new plan, there's a glass project yet to be found, where we'll conduct that at to help recycle glass. And the big detriments of that program is there's no processing facility in East Ohio any longer. It used to be in Cleveland, that's gone by the wayside. We are seeking, with a lot of other districts right now, to establish some kind of glass processing facility and improve the quality of the glass before we get into collecting glass. Always one, you gotta have the facility before you can have the collection. One of the smaller programs that's in the plan this time around is a scholarship. The commissioners have decided to go green scholarship. The fact is, we took private donations from a company in Avon, Dotset US, now known as Ecoverse. They donated the first $3,500, and the commissioners will be placing $25,000 in the endowment over a period of 4 years. All right. So that would be through Lorraine Community College and their partners. The cab program continues to expand. We have 4 trailers with loaning capability. We can loan them to anybody, any non-profit group in the political subdivision which has come forward. I got a tiller in there. I got a pressure washer. I got rakes. I got shovels. Whatever tools you think you need, we have on hand. And they can rent it, they can take it out for 72 hours for free and use it to do community cleanups and beautification projects. That's been available now for about a year. This is the second real year of the program. We hope to get this more active. All right. This collection center continues to bloom and blossom. We're going to see some new renovations down there as we're now 5 years into operation, and we're very vigorously approaching 15,000 vehicles to the center annually. So that tells you the kind of popularity we have. Did 12,985 last year. So I think we're going to break the 15,000 bubble this year. All right. We have 17 part-time, temporary, intermittent employees at the center, mostly retirees, working from 12 to 14 to 16 hours a week that operate the center. 5 of them are team leaders appointed by the commissioners. This has been a very good program and a very good way of employing a lot of our senior people. In fact, as you look at the senior news, you will see our ad running there about monthly. Continue to expand and accepted items list. We've added, since I've been in charge, we've added hardback and softback books. We've added all the recyclables. We do cardboard. We put a baler in. which was old downstroke we borrowed from down the old warehouse. We're not fancy, but we get the job done. Fact is, we're getting ready to ship our third load of cardboard this year, which is 54 bales, so it's shipped semi-lots, all right? Continue to expand those items, and if anybody has an item they think that can't be recycled, or you've heard of there being a lot of and there's no market for, give us a call. We'll see what we can do to help. I know we're looking in the styrofoam vigorously right now, and there's a couple different machines out there that can handle styrofoam and put it back into a form that we can put it back out in the marketplace and reuse it. So we're looking at that. Education program is going to take on a new spin in the next couple of years as we move our person out of the street into our house full time. We're going to be looking at schools to pick up that program and run with that program and train the trainer program, which we're working on right now. One of the new innovations that we're coming up with now, we successfully in the last 5 years have collected $1,028,000 in grants. That expanded 3 businesses in Ohio and Lorain County, and those 3 businesses now employ 34 more employees through the market development structure that's available through EPA. You have to sponsor, you have to house the money. You can get up to $250,000. If you know a business that has a recycling program or use post-consumer waste in their final product, have them call us, because every year we go after these cranes. We were very successful this year that we landed a large grant from Ohio EPA to buy our first shred truck. Before the end of the year, we will have a shred truck at the center in-house. We will be coming around to all 34 communities in the future and shredding in every community in Lorain County. And this will be an annual thing that goes on. The same employees that run the center will be running the shred truck. So we'll be training 6 of them for CDLP. Can I answer any questions about what we're doing? If you got any questions I need to answer tonight?
Mrs. Wasil?
Yes. Mr. Bailey, I've got a couple of questions. I really appreciate what you're doing. Would you please, I have questions on the glass collection, the styrofoam, and the 3 new businesses. The glass collection how is that different than the glass collection that's done now?
Glass collection right now, the Republic really doesn't have a market for what they're
So
doing.
what happens to the glass?
Right now, it's going to Pennsylvania. It's only one place, and there's a loss leader for them. They're losing money on every load they ship. We're trying to turn this around and get a processing facility, which Strategic was the one that was in Cleveland, it's now closed. So we need a local company that wants to get in business and process glass. And the best market for glass today, if you can get it clean enough, is an insulation market. John Manville has produced a line of recycled insulation out of bottled glass for about 10 years now, out of the Rumpke plant in Dayton. So it can be done. We've looked for partners like Owens, Illinois. There has to be a willing partner that's going to take the final outcome of the glass, and there has to be a processing facility.
So this is spun glass into fiberglass?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Are you going to be partnering with public services with that, or is it just to take there?
We will gladly partner with Republic Services.
Have they said they will partner with you?
They're still, it's in Phoenix, I'm going to be honest with you. The last
So they're
conversation we
deciding.
had, it's in Phoenix, and they're reconsidering it.
Okay.
We offered, EPA come forward and offered to me a college of their choice, engineering college of their choice, to re-engineer their system on the front side to get the glass out first. That's the problem. It's a contaminant when it goes in the system. So if we can get the glass out first, a better chance to get it clean to the standards that anybody would accept it at, and get it in the marketplace.
So as a minimum, the public services has to have this upfront glass cleaning, sorting machine or whatever it is
Right.
for the, okay.
Or we'll look for somebody else. We're not, but Republic comes first in our eyes, all right?
Okay, that makes sense. I just wondered.
Yeah.
The styrofoam machine, you said you're going to process it and make it into something that is usable. Is that going to be melted, or is it just going to be finely divided?
There's two machines out there we're examining. One's a compression machine that compresses on high pressure and puts it into a bale, all right? Then the bale has to be shredded, and they have to inject air and create new styrofoam pieces, all right? The second one is one we like the best, it's most expensive. It's called Recycle Tech. It's been around for about, I'd say 15 years, and the technology has continued to expand on itself and get better every year. I put 12 of them in a Whirlpool plant in Marion about 10 years ago. They're still using them today. Take the styrofoam off their production line, shove it in the machine. It takes the air out of it and spits out like a 40-pound basketball. And then it goes right back to Recycle Tech to be made into new styrofoam pieces. So this is the one we like the best. It is an expensive machine, and we may have to seek an EPA grant.
So all the recycling keeps it in the polymer form. It doesn't.
Right.
Okay. And are you at liberty? Is it public information that the 3 businesses that you sponsored that brought in 34 people?
Republic got $250,000.
Okay.
The other business was the same. It was Quality Blow Mold just outside of Larry. They created 34 new jobs.
What was it?
Quality Blow Mold.
Oh,
And
okay.
they recycle, reground plastics in the process. To make all kinds of plastic blow molded parts for all kinds of industries across the United States and outside the country.
And you said there was a third one.
No, there are 2 grants went to Quality Blow Mold, so we got 3 grants.
Okay, the 3
Two
grants.
businesses.
Okay, got it. Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
No problem.
And that's all my questions, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Mr. Winarski?
First of all, thank you for joining us. You had mentioned earlier, am I saying this right, commercial organics? In the early part, did I get that right?
There's a tremendous need out there for commercial organics. You might say what? Overland Food Waste Project, which is right now sitting still. They put in expensive 2 pulpers to take the water out of their food waste at all the cafeterias and food facilities in Overland College.
Okay.
And there's no place to go with it right now because Rosby and Cleveland shut down. So, and Barnes has a maximum capacity they can take right now. So we need to create a new process. Grafton Prison has stepped up. The governor 2 weeks ago released the ground to us so we can establish and negotiate a lease between the state attorney general, my office, and the commissioner to get that underway. And Barnes Nursery is a contractor on this, so they'll be coming in and doing the operations.
Okay, so this has nothing to do with like leaf pickup and where we'd be dumping it and stuff?
Well, no, not at this time. But we need the carbon source, sir. I'd be foolish to tell you that we can compost food waste without carbon source. And carbon source is yard waste. We don't have the yard waste, we don't have the wood chips, we won't compost. It's as simple as that. So we're going to have to find some way, long term, and I've negotiated a deal between one of our cities, which I can't talk about right now, to bring the first 45,000 yards in with ground yard waste. That will get us started, but long term, we need to be feeding this facility if it's going to be successful, yard waste. Because after it comes out of the aerated compost system that is forcing it to compost quickly, it will still have to be composted out in the air.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Still have to go through a final process, which takes more wood chips. So, yeah.
Okay, it sounds similar to something I read in, I believe it was Minnesota, Bachman's is a co-op with Hennepin County where they're doing the same thing. I think like Burger Kings they're focusing on the
And this will
waste
offer our
from
prisoners some training as well.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Other questions? Mr. Bukovac?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Bailey. On the yard waste portion of it, does that include just leaves? Leaves? That's not yard waste.
What we want, all the limbs and brush, so we can get our hands on the pieces. That's why we're so desperately trying to find a piece of really good real estate up here in the northern part of the county that we can establish a facility. Short of going out, taking a piece of real estate, we haven't been very successful so far. We've gone through at least 9 properties so far, which we struck out on. I got 4 more on the docket downstairs before the commissioners now to see if we can get a piece of property. It takes about 25 to 35 acres. All you do, it's not rocket science, you bring the brush, the leaves there. There's a new grant system in the new plan that allows us to fund the cities to bring the material there, assist in some transportation costs. And once we have the facility up and running, but I gotta have a piece of land first, all right? Simply grind, windrow, and most of the chips will go south into Grafton, and most of the leaves will become leaf compost. And it should become a big retail facility as well, which will create jobs long-term and be a source of compost, mulches, soils, all those products that our public wants, all right?
Thank you.
Mr. Ventura?
I'd like to commend you. You really know your stuff, and the way you talk about it, it's fascinating. You talk about a lot of stuff that I didn't know personally, and it's good to learn. And with that, I'd like to move to send A1529 to the full council. Emergency is not needed on this, correct?
Well, you see that they requested they get it back within 90 days, and so if, assuming that council's going to go on vacation in August, that I would pass it next Monday on the first reading, suspend the rules with no emergency, and it'll still meet the 90 days that they requested.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Mr. Ventura and Mrs. Priscilla.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Bailey.
Motion carries 6-0. Mr. Bailey, thank you again for your time.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
25 acres? That's what you need? Okay.
And the chair will recognize a motion to adjourn. Ms. Priscilla?
Motion to adjourn.
Mr. Goodall? Second. Thank you. We are adjourned at 7:24.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
7:24.
7:24.
I'm going to borrow the attendance taken by the Finance Committee and move right on to item number A15-30. That's to amend Ordinance 15-18. And this is presented by the Law Director and the Mayor. And I'd like to turn it over to those two and the rest of the administration for any comment at this time.
When you see the attachment, I got an email I got from the Law Director with regard to the ordinance we passed, which is 015-18. The surveyor put the wrong information on the legislation that we passed. So we need to pass legislation in its place with the right company name. And Tony, you want to add anything onto that?
No, it's an error caused by their surveyor. It doesn't change really anything of substance from our end. We just need to change the legislation. So.
Anything else from the administration?
That's it.
Okay, open it up to the council and we'll look at Mr. Bukovac.
I'd like to make a motion to send A1530 to the floor council with the emergency.
And so,
Second, just with a question. Mr. McCord, it sounds like there was, or Mr. Mayor, it sounds like there was a proofreading error on the printed information on the drawing or something. Is that about?
I think there was the surveyor for Springer put the wrong entity that owned the property.
Okay.
And
All
that's
right.
the only
So
error.
it was just a proofreading error.
Right.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
all right, we have a motion and a second. Any other comment? All right, with that, motion is to take it up to the floor of council with emergency. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone against? Passes 7-0. 6-0. I'm sorry, we're shy on it. Mr. Bukovac.
Make a motion to adjourn.
You better educate.
Mr. Goodell. Second. With that, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Anyone against? 6-0. It passes. We're adjourned at 7:05.
Our town, our TV. Amherst City Cable.